You. Damn, it is dark in here. Gotta maybe turn up a light. Just a second. Aha! And then there was light. Right. There we go. Let's have Nightbot spam a little bit. And then check where we were actually. So I think last time we attempted to remove a competitor. We ended up not writing a scenario test because we couldn't really find a good feature. And then after I shut down the stream, this would become our scenario that we'd want to test. Right. So Throdo Proudfoot wanted to know how I started off the project and how I made different choices and how I arrived to this point. Well, generally there's the README for sure, which is this part here. That's to me the most interesting part. I haven't really come to the redesign part just yet, but I think I might be going there soon-ish. So before I want to arrive at that point, I want to first be able to deploy it and put it in production and have competitors or competitions created. So I can then see how I can switch architectures around. So that's the first thing. That's one of the constraints I've put on myself at first, is to just keep the architecture as simple as possible. And the way that's manifested itself is I only have one object that is used for both persisting as a model and domain model, and then also something that my view UI speaks with. So all of those three purposes are all encompassed in one object or class. And I only have 3 of those for now. So I've got a competition. A competition has challenges. A competition also has competitors. And that's about it. So right now it's really, really simple. And this simplicity really helps churning out new features, in fact. There were some points where I had a lot of trouble going for the most simplest design. And I ended up putting in some extra stuff that eventually even wasn't necessary, but those I've got into highlights. So if you're interested in learning from my mistakes, I think that the highlights on my Twitch page are a good resource for that. And then another good resource would be the captain's log. So I try, I'm not saying that I've done it consistently enough, but I try to keep whatever decisions that I made in captain's log. So we can see that I started this in April already. Damn, it's been a while. First I was struggling with WebMVC because of the... what's the name called again? It was like a different, it's not JUnit, but a different test runner that gave me some problems. So I used Kotlin test, and that was giving me a real hard time. So I just switched to JUnit because I know about it. It has proper integration with Spring Boot testing framework. So, and then what else did I do? Right, so then I ran into stuff with backing properties, since I both use my model for as a domain model, so I want proper encapsulation and all that jazz, but I also wanted to be able to be persisted easily with Hibernate. Now, nothing's ever really easy with Hibernate, but I found some things around that, and I think I've documented all of those things in the captain's log as well. And some funky stuff with Vue. What else did I do? Yeah, so this stuff also I don't think is very interesting to see me struggle with in a rewatch, let's say. I think people will just skip over that and like, okay, show me the design parts. Or at least that's what I'm picturing that's interesting for people watching the stream, or rewatching it, I should say. Right, but I can see that I've got a lot of entries in April. And then May comes around. And then, look, I skipped from the 5th to the 19th to the 26th, and those are all of my entries for May. Could be that I streamed a little bit more in April though. Okay, Vue and Kotlin integration. So the only thing you should keep in mind is that I'm not actually generating JavaScript code from Kotlin, so I know that there's that part, but that's not the way I'm using it right now. So please, it's nothing too easy. It's just I've got a REST API using Spring Boot, and then the only thing I'm doing in my Vue application, let's see, where's the view? So that's the UI part. Let's take any, let's maybe like a detail of a competition, for example. There we go, we had to wait for the refresh. This is basically it. So I just call my REST API using Axios, and then that's it. That's really the only integration that I have. That and maybe some types I put in model, for example, to be used at the front end. So for Vue.js. Also, thanks for the follow, Koen Aat. Maybe missing an R there, but maybe Koenraad was already taken. I don't know. That's me making assumptions. I shouldn't do that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Koen Aat. Your name is great. Right. Let's find out what we are actually doing now then. Unless you've got more questions, Throdo, feel free to ask. So my idea was, since next week, big announcement. Yeah, Koenraad is always already taken. Makes sense. Plenty of people with that name, I guess. So next Sunday, if all goes well, there will be someone next to me on my left or right hand side, and I will be pairing with this person either on this application or doing a code kata. We still have to figure that out. I guess it will also depend on how hot that it is that day, and whether or not we can do it at my place, which is the place I am right now. Or maybe we can do it at work or something, I don't know, where there's air conditioning. But in any case, I will be pairing with someone, and maybe I want to have some more useful test stuff in place before we do that. So that's why I thought maybe I can do introducing test builders to extract default entities in unit tests. So I've got a test builder for, or plan to have a test builder for every domain object that I have. And I've already written one for a competition last week, but I haven't retrofitted that to reflect in all of the other unit tests, and that's what I plan to do today. So this one's already built. Now it only needs to be retrofitted, and then we'll create both of these and then also retrofit those as well. Cool. So some, how do you call that? Quality of life features for the developer. LOL. But it'll help me write code a little bit faster, or tests rather. So let's look at... So I thought I made a competition test builder. Maybe it's not called test builder. Well, honestly. There it is. I have no idea why it's not showing if I do this. Oh, because these are classes and it's not a class. It's just a file. So the way that I did the test builder stuff in this project is competition. Maybe it'll be more clear if I show you guys usage. So I'm not interested in what kind of competition this really is that I get here, as long as it's a valid one. So I want to create a default competition for tests, and using named parameters, I want to replace stuff from a competition. So I want to build a default competition for tests using these competitors, just a snarf then. And then the rest should be filled in automatically because I don't really care about it in my test. So what can we take is a name, a start and an end date, some competitors, and that's about it. So what's interesting to this pattern, usually what you have is like an actual class, like a test builder class that then has, that's considered a friend of the class that you want to build. When you've got that set up, you can create any sort of competition, in this case, that you want in tests. So what you want to do is have proper encapsulation for your domain, but ease of use during tests. And those two things don't really go hand in hand, right? Because if you make stuff less visible, your ease of use becomes more difficult, right? So a test builder tries to circumvent that problem. And well, what you usually see, maybe I can quickly create a test builder or something for... So let's just say that we actually build a test builder class. So let's call it competition test builder. There we go. And then what you typically do is all of the fields of the thing you want to build are there as well. And then what you then do is this builds a competition test builder. We don't need this ID thing because that's Hibernate specific. There we go. So now we've got a competition test builder, I guess. What's wrong here? All right, this is too obvious. And then what you typically do is for all of these fields is, let me turn off camel humps so I can expand select on all of it. Is for all of these, you have like a width method that then takes in this kind of argument, and it'll return a competition test builder. And then in all of these widths functions, you will I'll do that, and then you'll set something like that. And then so you've got fields that are basically copied, and then eventually what you have is like a function that says build, and this thing is gonna return a competition. Now you can already see that this is quite lengthy. And then the purpose of a test builder is to gradually build your competition or your test object that you want. So a usage would be something like this. So you'd create a competition test builder, and then you'd call all of these separate with properties or whatever, and then eventually call build. This allows you to configure, basically configure a competition or some kind of object for tests. And we've got the same behavior now using extension functions that are only available at test runtime and named parameters. So I think this is really cool. Like if you look at the amount of code you had to write and then compare it to what's actually only there, it's also way easier to read. So this is why we love named parameters and extension functions. Cool. So now that we've got that out of the way, let's see. So we did use it here. Whereas here, well, in the controller test, but I'm not sure, excuse me, if we're using that all or everywhere. I don't think we do. Nope. Right here, we're also doing the same. So the idea is to now fix all of these places here with using the test builder function instead of calling an actual constructor of a competition. And then what I'm looking for now is maybe there's a way to identify repetitive stuff. Like for example, I can see here competition without an end date is being used with Thunder Comp, but in fact, and then competitor is added, and then challenges are added. So this is, you can consider all of this setup, and then maybe not everything is interesting to this test. So I suggest what we do is just go over all of the tests one by one, and then refactor these things into using the test builder. So here we're only interested in some competition. So I could really just use this one. Because, well, I just expect that one to be returned. There we go, and this one should still work. So we will be running all of the tests after we refactored the code. And then the other thing that we'll do is we'll add necessary helper methods as well. So we've got green tests, that means that we can commit. What did I change here? Nothing. Right. Refactored single test to use TestBuilder. There we go. Also, please, I'd love some feedback on the mic. Like, is audio still good or does it need tweaking? Please let me know. All right, now I noticed that there's multiple calls, or that this is the second call actually. To create a competition. Here we are again. Here it is more specific though. Cheers for the feedback. Cool. And do you hear any background noise? It's also something that I'm wondering, because I've got a fan set up. That way I at least have one fan while streaming. I'm so sorry. Also, specific competitions here. Alright. Okie doke. Let's just change this one like that. And then okay. So we don't have a way to create a competition with challenges, and that's the thing that we're interested in right now. So what I'm gonna do here, let me just check. So aside from competitors, I think we also want to add a list of challenges. Maybe I'll give it an initial empty list maybe. And then we do the same. Challenges, add a challenge. There we go. So now our test builder is extended with using challenges, and I didn't even need to change anything because everything is still compiling. All right, so this is going to be a list of that thing, and then we can get rid of this. There we go. Now it is starting to look a little bit long though. Anyway, let's run it. Let's run it and see where this leads us. It should be still working because I only refactored stuff, right? I'm now also running all of the tests, so to make sure that by adding the list of challenges, I didn't break this part here. And wherever this function was used to get a competition without challenges and then added challenges later, those should still work as well. Let's go over what we changed again. So we did add challenges to that thing. So added challenges parameter to TestBuilder. There we go. Shouldn't we overuse extension functions? A test data object might well fit for this case. Ah, yeah. What do you mean with a test data object? Is that something that you feed into a function that then creates a competition from that object? Something like that? Or, I mean, because if you consider all of these things, If we'd encapsulate those into an object, that would be the test data object. I think is what you're meaning to say. I'm really not sure. But thanks for the suggestion. Anything to get my tests a little bit more readable. Right, okay. What would that help? How would that help though? So the question is, what would encapsulating these things into a test data object help legibility or something else in my tests? Because I think essentially what I'd be writing... Maybe we can just try it out and see where that leads us. So that would be this thing. Would be a data class, I think. Competition test data. And then all of these things need to be values. And then I'm just gonna copy this one and then call it maybe width or something. And then it'll take in a data object, and that's gonna be the competition test data thing. And then instead of doing these, I'll do data dot, and then here same, and then same. Like this, right? And then what would that look like for our test here? Oh, hang on. Oh, right. So is it no, wait, it is typed, but then it's test data typed. Oh, okay. So it is an object. Let's see. So we go object test data, and then it has these things. Oop. And then you don't have the... Oops. Like this, then? And then you pass along... Oh, that's interesting. Because in the what you can you I don't really understand what the competition one would do then. Value. Is it like to have test fixtures, because that's something I don't want. Hang on. So let's try first and replace this. I mean this thing with that test object stuff. Ah, yeah. Okay, so yeah, the test fixtures I really dislike, because they don't allow for proper configurability. And then what you end up doing is you create a test fixture for every case that you need, but those cases pile up eventually, I guess. Well, actually, honestly, I haven't really tried it yet. Maybe I should do that at some point, though. And we are actually trying to make this better now. Let's try and make it work. So can I write something like this then, where my challenges? Well, actually like this, right? Or does it need to be test data? Let's see. We'll do this. Or ooh. Can I maybe write an interface for that so that you get like dynamic things in there or something? Let's do it like that. Try that out. And then everything behind the equals should go. Nee? What is problem? Okay then. There we go. And then I can create a competition test data object. Like this. I mean, fixed values for competition or test data object will then have many competition object. Ah, yeah, okay. So test data would be what I know as an object mother. Something like this, test data having a value of something, I don't know. Let's call it competition without challenges or something equals something something, and then one with challenges something something, and then without competitors something something with competitors. And now what I need to do is combine these into, you can see where this is going, right? Without competitors but with challenges, etc. This is what I don't like about the test fixtures. But let's try with this thing, because if we can do that, then let's see. Do your test cases use all of the competition attributes? Not necessarily, but I want my competition object to be set up properly, like it's used for real. And a test builder with defaults facilitates that. Wait, maybe sir, you're saying that, yeah, no, I don't know. If you look at the constructor of a competition, actually the companion object of that thing, where is it? Here. We can only create a competition with these functions. So it will always have both a start and an end date and a name. But then during tests, we also wanted to have challenges maybe, or competitors. And maybe even an ID. I'm not really sure if we can change that though. Where are we at though? Like maybe I was just wondering if I could write it like this, if this is possible. Could be a function then. Yeah, I'm not really sure how to do that though, or if it's even possible. To me, this is simple enough though. You know what? I think for the sake of getting somewhere, I'm gonna use this and then look stuff up about more patterns about how to do test builders or test mothers, if that's okay with you. So I'm gonna write that stuff down somewhere. Test fixtures, I guess. Patterns, maybe. For a Kotlin. There you go. Why do you want to add stuff into your competition at runtime? Shouldn't it be immutable? Well, I'd prefer that it was immutable, yes. Thanks for the follow, Levinic OFC. So I'd prefer it to be immutable, but then I ran into nasty Hibernate stuff. Because once you return a new competitor class, for example, then Hibernate will be like, hey, what happened to the original instance? And then you can't properly save it anymore. And so that's how I dealt with that. I'm really sorry. But I consider that to be something that I want to fix when I change architectures though. So definitely good impulse. Also, same thing I was thinking, but then I also ran into same problem. And hi, by the way, welcome. Let's see. We'll revert this to something that compiles again. Yeah, so like this, right? And then it will still run. Yeah. Cool. Right, so let's continue doing this thing. The create competition. Ah, yeah, this is one of the other things that I added, but it's part. It really shouldn't be there, basically, because it's like at some point I couldn't hold myself from making it more explicit that this is the creation of a competition object and not a competition in itself, but I really shouldn't have I shouldn't have allowed me to do that, but hey, it's there now. So competition to create, is it server side? So the way it's set up, or architecture wise is set up right now, is all of this Kotlin stuff is indeed all server side. So it's being served in a Spring Boot controller. So it's like a REST API, right? And then we've got a UI that consumes a REST API in, let's see, for example, here. We can add a competitor by posting to API competition. So that's our integration part between the UI and the backend, being the backend in Kotlin and the frontend in Vue.js. Let's see. All right, thanks for asking questions. It's helpful. Right, let's see. Okay, so here, even though this is simple enough, I want to be using this thing so that whenever I change my test builder for some reason, I want this thing to change along with it, so that it also gets the new default properties. This one should be like that as well. And then here we also have a competition without an end date. Okay, I'm not really sure. Well, why not just return the competition to create? So that test confused me a bit. It should be something, maybe that's why. Like, I don't want to be bothered with that it is indeed the exact same thing. Meh. Can I demonstrate the problem? I think it's the last thing that happened. In fact, right. Let's see, right? So I had the same, the issue was when I took a competition, I modified the competition, maybe in a repository integration test. I probably have something that's set up to so here, this is maybe the most valid case, I guess. So what I do here is I create two competitors. They need to be there. Then I just create some competition, but I add those two competitors. I save it. And then I retrieve it again, remove one of the competitors, save the competition again, and then Lion-O shouldn't be there anymore. And the problem I had was when this thing here was a regular list, and I added new stuff to it instead of well, my code now is just do add, but if it were to be a list, so if it would be a list of competitors, you can do plus, right? And you can do like this, for example. But this plus infix operator actually returns a new list a completely new list object, I mean, so a new reference and everything. And then Hibernate would be like, hey, this is all great, but I don't find any reference to the list that the competition had before. So now I don't know what to save. And then if you did that, then yeah, Hibernate would basically crash. Let me look actually, you know what? It's too bad that I didn't add any of the exceptions here though. Oh, here it is. Here it is though. So it's sort of the same exception you had for Jackson. Since that thing was just read-only, and then I needed to make the list mutable again. So there was both Jackson, I forgot about that actually. There was both Jackson and Hibernate that were being annoying. Okay, let's see. What did I change here? There we go. So this was what I had before. I had a list instead of a mutable list. And then I was just concatenating instead of adding or subtracting. That should still be on the video or the broadcast of last week somewhere, I don't know. Now, are there any more competitions I want to transform? Yeah, this one. Actually, I think I can just return all of these. And then since this is a local date now, it also seems that I'm not interested in that either. So what I'll do is go like this. Not even sure that the name is interesting to me either. It's even confusing because the competition ID is Snarf, but I know that I built the competition ID based off the name, so that's even weirder. Let's do like that then. More competition without end dates? Yup. Then there should be name equals given competition ID. Like that. Actually, I haven't ran my tests yet, so might be I broke something. Let's hope I didn't. Because if I did, I'm just gonna revert all the things. Okay, cool. Whew. It's still green. More like that, sure. Getting rid of that. Let's do it like that too. Again, not running tests. Damn, I really did use this quite a lot. Look at that. Oh, here it is a little bit different because I'm adding competitors there, so I could probably make use of that competitor name parameter. So the name would be given competition ID, and then maybe go like this. Don't care about the start date. However, these are interesting. Should add challenge given competitors completed challenges. And then what? Ooh, I did think. So I'll move this one up a little bit, and then also add challenges as a list of comp with challenges. No, Picasso challenge. My bad. Let's run it again. Am I letting Hibernate modify my entity properties? Yes. Can you do it without? So I'm running with what's that thing called? It's a Gradle plugin. Maybe it's not in here. Oh boy, the no arc plugin. That's the thing. But as far as I understood, this thing only creates okay. Cool. How do I fix it? Because I'll need that knowledge once I change architectures as well. Or maybe can you point me to some online resource? Like a GitHub project or something? That would be sweet. Oh, okay. Well, I'm really new to Kotlin and I'm eager to learn new stuff. Or especially... Well, actually, I ran into this stuff, but then I didn't properly fix it, I guess, because I wanted to advance a little bit. So I pushed learning a little bit more back. Let's do that. Let's run tests again. Oh, and we're already at the end. Try execute raw query only, retrieve data from our query, push data into the database via query and nothing more. Yeah, okay. So that it does fit into the plan that I have But that's part of my next architecture, basically. Because right now I want to, and I know that it's not very useful for my design, but I want to prove to myself that I can switch from this active record architecture to, for example, CQRS. That's one of my main goals with this project, in fact. And I know that if I can do that, so that's the idea, if I know that I can, I will be able to more easily deal with other people's decisions, basically, and it'll make me a better team player. That's basically the thing I'm hoping. Because if I know that I'm able to quite easily, switch from active record or this kind of architecture to CQRS, then I'm gonna be way more confident in just coding on this type of project. So it's kind of a meta thing. Like, I know that I'm not writing that nice code, and then some bits of code that I am using properly, I think, or at least I hope. But then I know that I can do better. But I want to really pinpoint why I feel bad about this stuff. Like, I can explain it. I can explain why it's bad, but then that doesn't make it so that in a finger snap my entire project moves to a different architecture, right? Because I could only solve it like that. So what I did here was competition controller test now uses competition test builder. Yay! Let's push that. Then let's pay a visit to the other controller tests maybe and see if there's any competitions being made. Doesn't look like it. I could do... Let's do a better way of doing that. Let's go here and then find wherever this companion object is being used. In tests, 35 usages. Yikes. Wait, still in this one? Ah, damn. Okay, yeah, that's unfair. I need to check these then, I guess. So that's the... This one is fine. Let's check the competition test. Here, see here, I really want to use those functions, so these are fine as well. But then here, I think I'll also want to be using the test builder, because look at this. Ugh. It just needs to be a little bit different, right? Because I don't really care all that much about what dates this competition has. As long as the name is different, it should be fine enough, I guess. All right. It should work, right? Cool. Let's do the same with all of these things, I guess. Yeah. I think they're all using the same same builder pattern. So let's do this. Let's make it that. Call it name equals. Then just select all of the string. Get rid of all of the dates. There we go. Here we were already using a different test builder. All right. Now let's refresh this thing again. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. I need to rerun. Okay, that's what I pressed. Okay, what else? Alright, now we only have a Lidrolica 33. Thanks for following. Okay, cool. Now I've cleaned up all of the usages of that competition factory function. Alright, so the competition repository integration test uses the competition test builder. There we go. Let's push that as well. Cool. So then I think we can tick some boxes. Baby. Next up, competitor test builder. Cool. So let's go to the competition test builder and then do this. Well, actually it's gonna be a little bit different for the competitor, isn't it? Let's cheeky dude meet. Competitor test builder is gonna be a file. And what we'll extend is competitors companion, implicit companion object then, I guess. I think competitor for tests or something. He doesn't have a companion object. That's too bad. How can you do that actually then? So do you always need to make some kind of dummy companion object thing or what? Yikes. This feels weird. Maybe I don't want to do this. Oh, yikes. That's not what I wanted to do. There we go. And then get rid of this. Don't need it. Don't need it, don't need it. There we go. Could be like that. There you go. And then guess I don't really, I'm not interested in the ID. Maybe let's use a snarf as a default. So what we'll do is provide name equals name. There we go, I guess. Okay, I'm still wondering what I should do here. Okay, you know what? Let's just try and make it work for now. So I want this competitor, or the challenges of that competitor, in fact, to work like this. Let's do it for each again, just like that. So this way I am using the proper method to add or to complete a challenge, and that way I'm also getting this validation. Thing is though, let's go check out where a competitor is being used. This one in tests, yeah, for example here. Oh, this is too easy, right? It'll become an issue when a competitor needs completed challenges. So maybe what I should do is look for usage of this. And tests. Okay, here. So here we want a competitor with a completed challenge. And why is that? Because it already completed it, finished the given challenge. Right. Ooh, and then the ID is also important somehow. Because it needs to be the same one. And then Snark is gonna get added to the competition. Yep. Okay, then let's see. I am contemplating whether or not I should make a test builder out of this thing, because if I said I'd do it, I guess. It still feels like a bit of overkill, actually. But it's like one of those things that if you don't build it right now, then oh shit, I'm sorry. Hang on. So if I don't build test builder right now, I will use it, or at the point in the future when I'll need it, I'll be like, I should have made a test builder. Which is actually part of the reason why I'm putting in this effort now, so I don't have that thing later. F-Boy has been saying some more stuff. Let's see. I think letting Hibernate modify your entity's property value at a runtime is really a bad thing. I agree. You rely too much on the framework to do the job for you. I completely agree. You have no control here. Framework controls you. Completely agree with that. That is why your competition entity is a regular class while it's supposed to be a data. Yeah, I agree with that as well. I only need to create a default competition and use copy method to create suitable objects for each test case. Things get a lot easier, but don't have any of that because you rely too much on it. Yeah, Yeah, I have to agree with you completely. I hate Hibernate myself, but it makes things so easy to persist stuff, and it helps you move quickly in the beginning. And that's one of the main reasons. That one, and then also the fact that it's usually used on the projects that I'm working on, or it's considered to be framework knowledge that everyone has, so aka all of my colleagues basically. So I agree with all of your points, but would you say that you that since that it also has a big impact on my current architecture? Yeah, it does help going fast though, because it strips away a lot of boilerplate. That's what I mean with easy. So I agree, like the moment you, oh yeah, how does that go again? How do I do orphan removal? Oh, it's some kind of annotation. Oh, you have to look it up. But it beats writing custom or own custom written row object mappers. Like I don't want to spend time doing that when I'm learning about my domain. So maybe if Hibernate can help me with that, then I'm gonna use it. So an interesting discussion though. So while I really hate Hibernate, I'm still trying to use it. So this is kind of a, but this entire project is in fact I don't know, like self-hurt maybe, because it goes into everything that I really want to do, design-wise. I'm talking, right, and architecture-wise as well. But I've noticed that I'm too how do you say that? I'm too enthusiastic. I'm too enthusiastic about stuff, or like about my opinions, and then usually I'll be like, no, it needs to be immutable. We need to do it like this, and then we'll throw away Hibernate, and then we'll use our own queries, and everything will be much simpler. And then my colleagues will be looking at me like, no, Tim, that's just no. It's not an option, Tim. Let's not do that. Also, please stop being so pessimistic about your code. So what I'm trying to do here is I want to prove to myself that I can switch from these architectures so that I gain more confidence or courage, really, in working in these types of applications, if that makes sense. Because if I do that, and if I am able to achieve this, then I will be more empathetic with my teammates or people in general, I guess, and I'll have learned something new. Yeah, and framework jail. Nice. I love that. Yeah. Yeah, there is a distinction there, I guess. Yeah. Maybe a different architecture is indeed completely... like, it's a different thing, right? Yeah, you're right. I didn't need to use Hibernate for this. I did want to avoid mapping stuff though, because now I'm mapping nothing. That's fun too though. There's only one representation for both the database, the in-between stuff like in your domain, and then the front end. So I mean, there's something to say for that. That allows you to move quickly, right? So I'm trying to find a way to deal with it more easily. But I really like I really love actually that you commented all of this in chat. So It shows that you really want to help people move on. I love that. So thanks, absolutely thanks for your suggestions. I have heard about clean architecture, yes. Let's see. Now I am also interested in, like, have we met in real life? Because you might seem like someone I've hung out with before, and I'm unsure. Also, feel free not to answer that question if you don't like. I was trying to change this though. Let's look again at where competitor is being called in tests, and then get rid of those instances and replace them with competitor for test. There we go. Okay, these are cleaned up nicely. Let's actually run the tests and check that it still works. Phew! It's hot. It's so hot. Ooh. It doesn't work here because I need the ID. Snap. So I'm gonna use that ID actually. That should fix that, I guess, or not. No. No. Now none of this still works. I'll also need to call it default competitor for test. Yeah. In-memory data implementation and dealing with those hibernate later when you have time. Yeah, I like that too. Yeah. Somebody else also suggested schemaless, because that also allows you not to deal with that stuff as well. But I haven't tried that yet, so I feel like I've committed to a path right now, and I want to continue on that path. For now. Just for now. Does that make sense? So I also would say, like, then dealing with those hibernate stuff later when you have time, it would be like more when I've learned more about the domain, right? Because that's also like one of the problems that we're having right now in regular projects. And on the one hand, our customer is demanding results from the first 2 weeks already. And the other thing that we know for a fact is that usually our customers don't really know their own problem domain very much or very well, or it could be a different problem that we end up solving. And in that case, working with schemaless also is going to benefit us, because we code stuff, we show it, and then whatever that we showed ends up not being the stuff that they really need. And then we don't really have a great way to move away from that. Even if we already have hexagonal architecture, for example, but we don't really have a good way to redesign our domain. Or, well, we do, but we don't have the balls to do it, is what I would say, I guess. Because of a sunken cost fallacy, if you know that. Yeah, indeed. So my goal is now to write this stuff and then put it in production and then go back and then try and fix it, because if I know that I can do that, then I'm really confident in I think I'm really gonna be really confident in changing these things. So my tests seem to be working. That's nice. All right, so wherever there's competitor name equals, I can just use this thing. Oh, use this thing instead.
Well, I came upon a spot that was simply the most beautiful spot.
All right, it's default competitor for test now.
That time, if I ever had the I would build a house there. I always wanted a house in the mountains. When I was a kid, I wanted a house in the mountains, and I said if I ever get the chance, I'll build a house.
There we go. Let's copy that.
And I did. And I built it on a spot that to me was, as I said, the most beautiful spot I'd ever seen.
Cool. Well, let's run these tests as well, and then we've got another test that we fixed, in fact. And then I think the only test that remains is this one. And then some, or actually, I was wrong. There's some scenario tests. And then here as well. Ooh, oh, and then I should also use this one too, right? Green, that's good. Let's go to the competition test. Change this around as well. There we go. Run it. Next one. What is production code? These are all tests though. All the green stuff is a test code. And then the test builder thing is in the test code thing, so it makes it so that the default competitor for test function is only accessible in the test module, I think you would call it. Completing a challenge that already was. And also production code is like, you can take that with a grain of salt because I haven't deployed it anywhere yet. And it's a dummy project. Ah, no, it's definitely not a production project. But I wanted to be in my mind like it were a production project. Because it changes my approach considerably. Like if it was just some silly hobby project that I don't value all that much, then yeah, I think I might not even do testing or something. I don't know. Depends on what I want to learn, right? Let's see. This stuff we'll also fix using that. And then I think then we've got most of our tests refactored into using the test builder for a competitor as well. Okay, here we do want this one. It's just a single place here. And then here it doesn't really matter all that much, I guess. Cool. I say we run all of the tests now. See where, if that breaks anything. I hope not. It shouldn't, so. That's a test builder. These things have become invalid since I copy pasted them. Competitor test doesn't need to be changed, or at least I don't want to. E. All right, now using the competitor test builder everywhere. I hope I live tomorrow. Why is that? That better not be a threat, man. There we go, we pushed. Take some boxes, like a boss. Great challenge test builder. Oh, go live on Twitch yeah, typically no. Tomorrow is dedicated girlfriend time, I'm afraid. I mean, I'm afraid for you lot, not for me. All right. Let's do the same with this thing. The challenges. Let's add it. The challenge also doesn't have a companion object yet. There's even less reason for us to make a challenge test builder. Because it's... Wait, I do think the challenge was just... Yeah, see, it's a data class. Ugh. So well, no, I'm not streaming tomorrow. I think the next day I will be streaming will be next week, and it will be with a friend of mine. And we might work on this project, but we might also do a code kata. I'm not sure yet. It'll also depend on how easy I think it'll be for the person next to me to default challenge for tests, I guess. Oh, what am I doing? A little bit too soon, I guess. All right. Okay. Ooh, we could do some pair programming. Yeah, sure, why not? You mean you want to do this live or remote? And then on this project, or let me just quickly change all of the uses of this thing. Live. Okay, where do you live? And then, do I know you? Challenge controller. Discipline, I don't want to touch this. Test. Yep, we can just change this. Oh, wrong shortcut. No. Something like this, and then I can. Okay, I'm gonna rename create challenge so I don't have challenge create bleu, and I'll just do this, and then we'll change this. And do that. Great. And then I think I'm gonna change all of these things because I don't care probably about this stuff at all. Here the ID does matter, so the ID is gonna be fine. Same for this thing. Oh no, it needs to be the same as here actually. So it didn't really make much sense to use that one. And then we'll rename this to create challenge again. There we go. Okay, live GMT plus 7U. Okay, I live in GMT plus 1, I think. Plus 7. So wait, that means that now, oof. It's 9, I guess. No, wait. 4 plus 7, it's 11. 11 your time now then, I guess. Or maybe 10, actually. Not really sure. Doesn't really matter. How are we gonna do this live? I mean, we can't do it face to face, right? Nine, okay. Yeah. Someone, well, I installed Flubits, the Flubits extension the other, like at some point. We could try and use this thing, but I'm not really sure. Yeah, let's do this. Share project publicly. This is all fine. I guess I do this. I am really not sure what I'm doing actually. There we go. Cool. So if you just open your IntelliJ and then connect, then I think we're good to go and we can do some live coding. The only problem was that I'm unable to hear you say anything, so... Do you have Discord? Because then we can hang out on Discord and talk, maybe. Unless you want to do that like at a specific time though. Like I don't know if you have time right now. Derpy, 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 derp. Okay, so that's I think all of the controller test fixed. I think here, do we care about this thing? Yeah, can't hurt. Can't hurt there either. TestBuilder is fine. Competition. Here we should get a lot of value from this thing, right? No. Okay. And then a date. So next week won't be good. We could do it now, I think, if that works for you. Okay, just as I thought, doesn't matter at all. Default challenge. Here. First and second challenge. Oh, okay. Alright, so my schedule is usually I try to stream every Sunday, but then maybe we can. So next Sunday is not gonna be an option, but then the Sunday after that was gonna work normally. I could do probably the 5th of July as well, or maybe the 28th. That's a Friday, next Friday. But it's gonna be super, super, super hot here. I think I want to be in the office then, using the air conditioning. So maybe let's try for the 7th of July if that's okay with you. Then I'll just put it in my calendar. Live coding with F-Boy 796. Starting when? Like 4-ish or what? Or like maybe 1? So that would be 3 hours at 6 o'clock your time. Yeah, the project is really stupid. The Sunday the 7th of July. Gonna shut down that Fluebits mess. Can it be sooner? Next week I can't because I already have a pairing session planned with somebody else. And then the rest of my week is actually planned completely. Yeah, I'm sorry, it can't. I think most soon might be the 2nd of July. That's a Tuesday. So it's either the 2nd or the 7th. Tuesday or Sunday. That's what I got. What time then? Well, I suggested... so I usually start streaming on Sunday at 1-ish. Could be 2, like today, I guess. But it can be... And then on Tuesday, it's gonna be... that's gonna be probably way too late. Since we're in very different time zones. Yeah. So what was that again? So I suggest maybe Sunday 7th of July at alright, nice. Cool. Default challenge for tests. Let's run this. Alright, cool. Alright, nice. Looking forward to it. Right, I was looking for more challenge refactorings. Okay, and here I have the ID, and I think I don't really care about this stuff either. Maybe not even the name. Here also, snarf is unimportant. Same. I didn't clean up very well, so I used the test builder, but then didn't really got the advantage of it. And here, This is the same, right? So let's get rid of that. There we go. There was like a to JSON on that shit. Here. But no competition found for yeah, okay. That's okay. Good. Lionel. Alrighty. Are there any challenge things left now? Guess not. Ooh. Give it an ID, give it challenges, complete the challenges equals a Picasso challenge. Wrap this in a list of. Get rid of that. Gonna go to sleep. Remember to push your code. I will take a look tomorrow. Will do. Have a good night's sleep. Oof, what the hell? Unversioned files. Oh, right, the Fluebit stuff. I can ignore that, right? Stop. There we go. Also, thanks for hanging out and the interesting conversation. Okie dokie. Now, was there some other place I did this and I didn't use it properly? Ah. Nope, this is fine. Nice. Let's run it, or maybe, yeah, let's run it and see that I didn't break anything. Okay, that's the next thing to fix. Hey. Oh, still running. All right. All right, I think I can fix this too. There we go. Short import. Then the points stuff can go as well. Okie doke. Oh, let me show you it. Yeah, it seems like I don't really care about the name being Picasso either, so I got rid of that too. Goodbye. Then run it. Jesus, running these tests is slow though. It's too bad. All right. That's that. Competition test. Yeah. Let's change this. It's just a single one. Do I then care about it? There we go. This might be interesting. No, let's not do that. Then a competitor test, maybe? Challenge with points. Ooh. Yeah, since I don't care about what the name is, might as well call it this. Cool. Let me fix that actually. In the test builder thing. The default should be this. Same for this. This should be maybe random int or something then. Is that a thing? Oh yeah, that was a search stuff. Oh. Okay, let's get back to wherever I was typing last. It was here actually that I wanted to use that, right? So this can go, and then I'll use default challenge for tests. Yay! And then I can inline this because, come on. Yeah. Look at that. Completing a challenge that already was completed. Okay, so this can be actually challenge default challenge for tests. Because we're gonna reference it by reference. And then this competitor. Yeah, no, I think it's fine if I do it like that. So setup, cool. Run it. Let's run it, baby. Yo, that looks good. Very, very good. Okay, then what's left? Repository integration tests. Yeah, see, this is the case where you really don't care. So now we just get two random challenges that have some name and we don't really care about it. Then we should actually not use snarf as the name then, and then use this instead as well. We did change a lot now though, didn't we? All right. Yeah, so the default challenges, there aren't any. And then we want a real challenge here, so that's good. I'm not gonna touch that. Then challenges should get copied when being added to a competition. Yeah, seems like we don't really care about what challenge it is actually, right? Alright, let's replace this as well with a default, or maybe... it's more real this way though. That's just usage. Okay, cool. I think I've done all the things. Then we'll run all the tests again, and then I think what we've done is we've got all of our domain objects into test builders and then actually used them everywhere. Oh, there's still one that's failing though. Why? They should probably both be snarf or something. Add competitor. Should add given competitor. Well, well. Yeah, it should... I shouldn't have done that. I should have done this. That makes way more sense, I guess. Here we go. Great. Using challenge test builder everywhere. And then these should probably be added to the ignore file. Let's see what flu and flu ignore do. Okay. Yeah, it's just something I don't want to commit. So, add to ignore. Where is that thing? Ugh. Let's add flu and .flu ignore to the get ignore file. I guess. Ignore flu bits files. Oh. Push all the things. Alright, cool. Alright. Then let's tick some boxes and then actually, you know what? close this issue. All right, cool. It's 20 to 5 right now. I feel like it's a little bit too late to start on this, and competition has a scoreboard listing the scores of all competitors. Maybe what I want to do first, or what I want to do now, is fix this though. Okay, it's running. Let's go to the issues and then edit, and then let's figure out some things that we want to do for next time. Okay, so a competition has a scoreboard listing the scores of all competitors. So that will be if I were to click on competition. That's weird. It stopped somehow. Okay. There we go. So, what did the thing say again? Competition has a scoreboard listing the scores of all competitors. Where do we want to put that? Like maybe we click on something, I don't know, or maybe that should be like the first thing a user sees. I'm not really sure. So I think like a table here maybe. See, that would make more sense to have a table here that lists all of the competitors and their scores. And then maybe also the challenges that they completed somehow. I'm not really sure. And then they have that kind of table instead of this one. Ugh. Thinking. Let's just start off with that. Okay. Add new table to competition detail listing competitors and their scores. I mean, that's easy though, isn't it? And this scenario test that we wrote earlier, I was just thinking, how are we going to verify that? Because I don't have a specific, I mean, I don't even need a specific query for that, because everything starts from my competition. Well, this is in fact the thing we need to do, right? So that will be mainly view, I guess, because we already have the competitor, or the competitors of a competition. I think sorting might be like an issue. Not really sure even. Scoreboard should be sorted by competitor with most points first. Okay. What else? What feature do we lack? Maybe we can do some small things now though, like for example, first of all, putting this in the order that you would use it instead of like this weird order. Because I guess we can create a challenge first and then view the challenges. Actually, what happens if we do create a challenge test? 5 points. You can't really see that it got added. Plus, there's also no way to edit this thing. Maybe editing a new challenge or editing a challenge should be a thing. Because there's no way to do that now. Whoops! Some feature that I missed. Alright. Get started. Edit a freshly created challenge. Why this feature? Well, what is a problem? I just created a challenge, but after pressing submit, I noticed there was a typo. Oh my god, the typos. And now there's no way of fixing it. I cannot even delete the challenge. So it'll just take up space when selecting challenges for a competition. ... Tasks. Front end. Make a challenge clickable from the challenges overview. Should navigate to edit challenge or something like challenge. Something like that. I think I'll need new REST API endpoint for that to update a challenges name, points, etc. Yeah, and then I'm unsure if I should do that. Maybe like, let's just call it out. An integration test that creates a challenge, creates a competition using it, and then modifies the challenge if it doesn't exist already, right? This integration test, I mean. The competition using the challenge should not be affected. Original well, actually, challenge at coupling time should not be affected. That's what I mean by that. That makes sense to me, and I'm the only one that is reading this stuff, I guess, so it should be okay. This description. Submit new issue. Bam. I'm wondering, like, I have... Oh, forgot to add the project like I usually do. There we go. I think I also forgot project. Yep. And then deploy somewhere. like, what is the requirement for this thing to be before I can pick this up? I guess I need security first, probably. So maybe add that first. Implement or protect the UI, both UI and REST API. Somehow. Do I really want to do that? I don't think I want to do that. I don't want to do this, right? I really don't. Get rid of that. Screw you. Security, because the idea I have is I want it to look like this. Like the kid. Oh wait, this is good. So I am this person, and then this is what we paid and stuff. So I didn't even log in. Start now. Creating a competition. Adding competitors. Create a kitty. And then you can just follow the link. And then, right, and then that's that. That's what I want to do. So I don't need security. I mean, I don't need user login and stuff like that. All of that is a hassle. Maybe it should be called like this. Edit a created challenge. There we go. So we'll have scoreboard and then probably this thing for next week. So that's going to be a more of a UI part, and then this is going to be more of a backend part, I presume. Not really sure. Okie doke. Cool. All right, I'm gonna try and cool down a little bit. Thank you all for hanging out. I hope next week I will be pairing with Steven op de Beek. That would be so cool. But I think so it'll be either here or in fact at my work, but I hope that I can make it transparent for you lot so that you won't really know where we are sitting. It shouldn't really matter at all, in fact. Alright, thanks for hanging out, and then hope to see you next week for a pairing session with Steve. We'll be doing either this or a code kata. It's gonna be Kotlin, I hope. I think I can convince him. Alright, thanks for hanging out and see you next time. Bye. Peace.